So when I started collecting physical media, especially in the horror genre, there was this thing I got accustomed to having, and that was multi-packs or combo packs. Buying a DVD where it included more than one movie. Now, at the time when I'm coming right out of high school, things like that were very helpful. It was able to help me save money and get more bang for my buck. And I was going through the movie collection the other day, and I was kind of reminiscing on that sort of thing and looking at the Scream Factory combo packs I had. I feel like that's not even a thing anymore. Like, Scream Factory doesn't do combo packs anymore. I can't recall the last time they did one. I feel like it's been quite some time. Actually, I do remember. It's actually a 4K, and I do have that. And some of these are actually out of print and kind of expensive now, and I have a couple of those, so we're going to look at my collection of those, and I'll kind of tell you which movies I like, or if I can recommend you trying to go out and get some of them. Some of them are probably still fairly cheap to get, but let's get started. So here's the first one I want to talk to you guys about. Oh man, Ghoulies II and Ghoulies I. This Blu-ray release was like so important to me when I first got it. I remember I had seen Ghoulies on YouTube for the first time, and I really loved the movie. And Ghoulies II was the one that everybody had told me, like, oh, that's the best one. Now, obviously, I've since become a massive Charlie Band fan, and I love all these movies. Ghoulies II is like the fan favorite, but like something about Ghoulies I like a little bit more. There's this whimsical, almost wizard or witch element to the first one that's great. And the 4K is what you're going to want to get for this. I'll tell you guys right now, like, this is great, but the MVD releases are better because not only do they improve the picture quality on both those movies, obviously now they both have 4Ks, but there's also all the special features that were on this are on the MVD releases as well. So they licensed all the Scream Factory features, including the interviews with Charlie Band and everything on there. But man, I remember getting this at FYE, and like, this was a big deal for me. So, I mean, I love this release. What can I say, guys? The Ghoulies double pack is like a classic piece of my collection for sure. Next up, man, oh man, H.G. Wells' The Food of the Gods and Frogs. So when I got this, my big thing was getting Frogs. Like, Frogs was one of those movies that, like, it was actually my family's first DVD we ever bought. But getting this was special to me because I remembered getting Frogs on DVD for the first time as a family, and I love this movie. It's a Sam Elliott, not Sam Neill, Sam Elliott movie. I get those names confused sometimes. And this movie uses all real animals. This was the 70s, so like, they got these gigantic ass frogs. These things are huge. These frogs are big as hell. But it's really great. I love this movie so much, and it's awesome. Food of the Gods isn't bad, but it's pretty hokey. So, like, I got this for Frogs, and there is a Kino cult of this out now, so you can get that. But, you know, you never know. You might want to get this, especially if you're a Food of the God fan. You have to check the eBay prices on this one. I don't think this one's obviously in print anymore, considering Kino has the license for Frogs. But you never know. Sometimes, like, when some of those movies come back onto print, the releases that were out of print will go down in price big time. But yeah, this was definitely one I got for Frogs. Love that one so much. Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt. This is one that I like these movies. I wouldn't say this is like out of the pack the one I would recommend the most for getting. I think I enjoyed Tales from the Crypt fairly well, but Vault of Horror I felt was probably a little boring, if I'm being honest. Now, the funny thing about this is, on camera, this probably doesn't look that cheap, but the paper that this release has looks super cheap. Now, the discs look pretty good, but I don't know if this is, like, Amazon had to, like, replace the case for this, and they had to print up their own paper and stuff for this or something. I don't know, but, like, it's not that impressive looking in person. It looks like it's computer paper on this case. So I think Amazon probably destroyed the case and they had to try to replicate it, and so they printed it out or something. I wouldn't be surprised. I have ordered Blu-rays from Amazon where it looks like they did it in-house, and they've actually sent me a Blu-ray R of a movie before. So, because I know that that's shipped directly from Amazon, so I'm going to blame them. But that one right there, Tales from the Crypt is good, but Vault of Horror I don't remember liking that much. Next up, guys, we have a double pack for The Outing and the Godsend. Now, on this one, The Outing is the one that I love. This is one I believe it's called The Lamp, too. An ancient genie is released from a lamp when thieves ransack in a woman's... Yes, The Lamp. The Lamp is great. Godsend, I don't even know if I remember watching this one, but The Outing is great. But this movie also has a Vinegar Syndrome release, so I'm going to assume that this double pack is probably out of print as well. But this is the way I watched the movie for the first time. I think I might even have The Lamp from Vinegar Syndrome. But I'll tell you, above anything else, check out The Outing. That is a fun 80s horror movie. I love that one so much. Now, this one came out in... I'm trying to see if there's a year on this. This is probably 2016, maybe even 15. 2015, yeah. So I got this probably right around that time. Maybe a little bit later. I might have got this on Amazon, or I got it at FYE. I really can't remember at this time. But, you know, this was when they were in the throes of those double features. It's a shame they don't do these anymore. These are fun to collect. Next up, this is the one I definitely am the most excited to talk about. Scanners 2 and 3. I feel like people don't know that they're sequels to the Scanners films. Now, I feel like Vinegar Syndrome did the Scanner Cop movies, which I did a review on that release when it came out. But Scanners 2 and 3, I feel like nobody really knows about them. Scanners 3, The Takeover, is really good. Scanners 2 is okay. It's a little slow. But Scanners 3 is really good. They're both fine movies, but 3 is a little bit a cut above the rest. And I would like for these movies to get, you know, a little bit more of a prestigious release down the road. But in terms of picture quality and stuff, these double packs, they always looked pretty good, you know. But Scanners 3 is the one. I love the story of Scanners 3. A young scanner with extraordinary telepathic powers transforms into a lethal killing machine after taking one of her father's experimental drugs. After taking over his pharmaceutical company, the deranged scanner runs amok on a killing spree and takes over a television company in her quest for world domination. As her thirst for power grows stronger, only one man, her scanner brother, might have the power to stop her. Yeah, so 3 ended up being like the one. I watched 2 and I was like, okay, it's not bad. Then I watched 3 with no expectations and I was like, damn, this one was good. So yeah, the Scanner Cop sequel double pack was one that was... When I saw it on Amazon, I was like, oh, I didn't know there were sequels. Because everybody knows Scanners, right? The David Cronenberg film, but it was just one of those things. And I believe these movies were on the same disc. Yeah, so what they did, this is at the time where they had DVDs and Blu-ray still in their releases, so they have Scanners 2 and 3 on DVD and Blu-ray right there. Next up, guys, admittedly, I started watching one of these halfway through, and I don't remember the other one. Ghosthouse and Witchery. Now, Ghosthouse is the one I started watching because of the clown the girl has in the back was creepy. And there's this creepy looking zombie thing on there. But I don't remember if I got to that point. And the other movie, I actually, like, the thing I like about doing these videos is they'll remind me to watch some of this stuff. The other one we have is Witchery, which has David Hasselhoff and Linda Blair in it. Talk about a weird combination. That's off the wall. But yeah, this is one I want to sit down and watch these now. These are both from 1988, by the way. And they're not long, 96 minutes and 94 minutes. I almost wonder if this one's still in print. I don't recall any other company having these available right now, so I'd like to believe that these are still in print. Look online and see for these. Here we go. Cellar Dweller and Catacombs. Now, this Cellar Dweller is obviously now in the Empire of Screams box set, which I love Cellar Dweller. It's a great, fun creature feature that actually puts the monster in the film. Cellar Dweller was used from a Video Master that they had for this, something like that. But it wasn't too bad looking. I give them credit. They did a pretty good upscale on this. And Catacombs, I really like. Catacombs is really good. Catacombs was late 80s. It definitely felt late 80s. Yeah, 88. So Catacombs was great by David Schmoller, who did, I believe he did Puppet Master. But Cellar Dweller is really fun. You got John Carl Buechler designing the beast, the Cellar Dweller, if you will. This is a fun double pack. This is a Empire double pack, if you will, which they did a lot of those. They had a lot of Empire releases for double packs, and this one's no exception of how fun it is. So this one's great, but like I said, Cellar Dweller is in the Empire of Screams box set, which I super recommend that Empire of Screams box set if you haven't gotten it. It's It's one of my favorite physical media releases of all freaking time. That's how much I love it. Next up, man, I just did a YouTube short on this. Well, I did it. I did it close to recording this. By the time this video comes out, it could have been a week or so from now. Bad Dreams and Visiting Hours. Now, Bad Dreams is the best A Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff movie you'll ever see. It actually stars Jennifer Rubin from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and it has Richard Lynch as the bad guy, as the Freddy, if you will. I'll keep it spoiler-free because I feel like not enough people have seen Bad Dreams. The fact that this was a part of a double pack with Visiting Hours is honestly kind of shocking because of how good Bad Dreams is, in my opinion. But the fact is, when I found out that I could own this movie, I chomped at the bit. But Bad Dreams is great. Visiting Hours isn't bad either. It's an older... No, I don't think it's older. I think this was also 80s. Yeah, this one was good. But yeah, the money one is Bad Dreams in this one. And I also just got the Anchor Bay DVD of this at the Second Charles I frequent. So check this out. Bad Dreams is so freaking good. Double pack. And as far as I know, in terms of high definition, there may be a foreign release for this. But in terms of US, I think this is it. So... look that one up. That one's not one you're going to want to miss. That one's sensational. Next up, guys, here we go. Got this at Spirit. I got this at FYE back in the day. Troll and Troll 2. I love Troll 2. Who doesn't? But this is the initial release. I think they did a couple releases. This is the initial release that had the DVD for Best Worst Movie, the documentary, which is worth the price of admission. That documentary is great. Now, overseas, there has been some media books and things like this for Troll 2, which also include that documentary. The documentary is fascinating because the dad in the movie, who is the dentist, and the son meet up, and they go to meet the woman who played the mom in the movie, and it's kind of sad, but she definitely had some mental health decline in the movie, and she was also taking care of her own mother. And when they go to their house to film and stuff, it's just really awkward. But fascinating nonetheless. So the Troll 2 Best Worst Movie documentary is incredible. It's one of my favorite horror movie documentaries. It just depicts the aftermath of making an incredibly bad movie that to end up having a cult following. So this is a great release. I think they had another release of this right after it though that didn't last long, but it did not include the documentary, if memory serves. But Troll needs to come out from MVD. That needs to get a 4K because that's a weird ass movie. And Troll 2 as well. I know it's Troll 2, but like just put it out on 4K. Like just do it. Like what are we talking about? Just do it. Put out Troll 2 on 4K. But as for now, this was it. I don't think this is in print anymore. This was 2015. I don't think this is in print anymore. Next up, guys, we have Love at First Bite and Once Bitten with Jim Carrey. Oh, God, this is fantastic. Now, obviously, I got this for the Once Bitten, but Love at First Bite is great. That was a fun one. But the real money one in here is definitely the Jim Carrey one, Once Bitten. Because, like, you could see how talented Jim was even at that point. Like, he just had that X factor on screen. But, like, in terms of 80s horror comedies, I actually think Once Bitten is semi-underrated. Like, people know about it, but, like, it's not brought up in conversations when you talk about fun 80s horror comedies. Like, there's The Juggernauts, like, my favorite movie of all time, Return of the Living Dead and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and, like, Night of the Creeps. That's probably like the 3 greatest. But like under that, the undercarriage of like the underbelly, if you will, of like great horror comedies, like I definitely think Once Bitten deserves to be in that conversation. Heavy emphasis on the comedy, of course, but I mean it's still in the vein of like the aesthetic of horror with you know, the vampire lore and everything like that. So I like it. I like it, but yeah, I think this, I don't know if this is still in print. It may be. It's hard to say, especially now. Like some of this stuff could be out of print technically, but like if Amazon still has a decent stock of it, they won't upcharge it. Sometimes they will, but a lot of times I've been able to get lucky and get stuff that was technically out of print, but I'd go on Amazon, they would still have some in stock, and I'd scoop it up real fast. So go check for this one. This one's a great one, the Once Bitten and Love at First Bite. So here's our last double pack that came out as far as I know, and it's actually a 4K release of Slumber Party Massacre and Slumber Party Massacre 2. Now this I got when it came out, and I think part of me really got this because of the charm of the double pack. Now, a lot of people are like, man, we want Slumber Party Massacre 3. Where's that one? And I don't know. It would have been nice if they did a triple pack. Imagine that, a triple pack of Slumber Party Massacre and Slumber Party Massacre 2 and 3. But this is the last one, and I reviewed this, so you'd have to go back to my video for absolute specifics. But, like, of course, these were on separate discs and everything like that. And I think Slumber Party Massacre had a Blu-ray. Yeah, Slumber Party Massacre had a Blu-ray. Part 2 just had its 4K disc. But, yeah, this was the last one. And, yeah, that's why I got it. I think the charm of it being a double pack kind of made me want to get that. Yes, the very last one's the main event one, by the way. Metamorphosis and Beyond Darkness. Now, the reason I ended up getting this one initially was because of Claudio Fragasso, one of my favorite directors, who did Beyond Darkness. And I want to say that there is a Severin Blu-ray of this movie now. It's either Severin or Vinegar Syndrome. I can't remember. But I never felt the need to get it because I had it here in this double pack. Again, some of these double packs, like Scream Factory would put these out, that these movies would scurry to some of the other labels like Severin and things like that. Metamorphosis, I don't remember if I watched this one. I don't think I did. Beyond Darkness I did, and Beyond Darkness is effing wild. It's actually like, no, I don't want to say it's Claudio's best. It's crazy. It's Claudio Fragasso film. So if you're wondering who that is, I'm sorry if I'm being ignorant. Like, that's the Troll 2 guy. So that should just tell you a lot. Like, this and Night Killer and stuff are like such fun movies. They're so bad, but they're so fun. But yeah, Beyond Darkness was the reason I got this. But Metamorphosis, I don't know, guys. I'd have to go check that one out. I do love the artwork on that one, though. Now, here's a classic one, man. This is TerrorVision and The Video Dead. Now, The Video Dead is like one of my favorite zombie movies. And if that sounds a little drastic, I get it. But, like, The Video Dead is actually really, really entertaining. And the look of the zombies in this one is actually pretty freaky. Now, on the flip side of that, TerrorVision is, like, a really fun horror comedy. And that was actually directed by the great... damn it, he directed the Subspecies films. Ted Nicolau, I believe, directed TerrorVision. Yeah, TerrorVision's great, and you've got the daddy, or the stepdaddy from Child's Play 2 in this movie. And there's a great cast in TerrorVision, and the monsters are overtly over the top. Huge things. And I believe John Carl Buechler did those. I could be wrong, but I think he did. But it's almost a satirical 80s horror movie. I mean, it's really, really over the top. I think Diane Franklin plays like this valley girl, and she's got this whole ridiculous persona. It's a very much a satirical, not slapstick, but like over the top kind of horror movie. But The Video Dead is like really, really fun. I love The Video Dead. I wish The Video Dead would get like a really nice single release from somebody, but I'm happy to have it here. Like, this is good enough, but like, I'd love to get something with a little bit more meat on the bone. But The Video Dead, man, those zombies in The Video Dead, I love them. I love them. The Video Dead's like, I don't know if it's underrated. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but like, anytime I see it brought up, I get a smile on my face. So, I mean, I love it so much. So The Video Dead, like, this is one I would definitely say try to own big time, because this is like 2 bangers on this one, like really good ones. Next up, guys, we have the Dungeonmaster and Eliminators. This one is another one where one of these titles, the Dungeonmaster, ended up on the Empire of Screams box set, which I love. And the reason I got this was actually for the Dungeonmaster, because I'm a big fan of the band Wasp. They're like one of my favorite bands. In Dungeonmaster, which is just wild to think about. The Eliminators, I never did watch The Eliminators. It's definitely like a sci-fi kind of action movie, and I believe these are Empire films as well. And I think this one came out in like 2015. Yeah, 2015. So 2015 was a hearty year for the combo packs from Scream Factory. And I think this one is obviously out of print, but that's fine. Like I said, I mean, you can get Dungeonmaster in the Empire of Screams box set, which they did a sensational job on that Blu-ray, multiple cuts of the movie and things like that. But yeah, this was it. And there's some that didn't end up coming to fruition. There was gonna be, I think there's one with Rotor in it from Scream Factory, and that one's out of print. Rotor, I bought a Spanish Blu-ray of that. Rotor is a ridiculously bad, over the top Actually, it's just a ridiculously bad RoboCop remake. But instead of a RoboCop, it just looks like a dude with a porn mustache. The whole movie, but the cover of the movie is amazing. But here it is, guys. The main event is definitely right here. Slumber Party Massacre 2 and Slumber Party Massacre 3, infamously out of print. I just got this back in the day at FYE when it came out, which I believe was also probably 2015, somewhere around there. Let me see if it shows it on the discs. No, I don't see the date on the discs, but I think it was definitely around that time. And there it is, guys. And I actually like Slumber Party Massacre 3 quite a bit. I really do hope that this comes back out. Like, people were kind of like when they did Slumber Party Massacre, 1 and 2 on 4K, like, people were excited, but at the same time, the questions were, well, where's 3? Where's 3? Where's 3? And I don't think we ever got any answer on that, so I don't know why we didn't, but we just didn't. But, yeah, that's probably the most expensive one I have, and, I know, I don't like to feel like, haha, I got it, you don't know. I wanted it to come back in print so people can enjoy it and own the film. Hopefully it does, hopefully it does. But if not, hopefully you don't have to pay too expensive of a price on this. So that is my multi-pack collection, guys. Great times. I miss that era. I really hope they could bring that back. I really do, but like now with the way competition is and the way all these other companies are getting these titles, and you can see like some of those titles, probably at least 25% of those titles have subsequently gotten single releases from other companies, like the Outing, aka the Lamp, and Dungeonmaster, and obviously the Ghoulies movies, and yeah, there's like these some. So like I can understand why it kind of went away, but like, that reminds me of the good old days of getting into collecting, where like when you're on a budget, those kind of multi-pack releases for the price of like technically one movie sometimes like would always come in handy. Like those MGM horror pack stuff I used to get, where it would have like poltergeists and frogs and stuff in it. I love that stuff. I really did. So I love those kinds of collections. But let me know what you think, guys. Which ones do you have that I don't have that I should look into getting? And let me know your thoughts on those, if you're into those sorts of packages, the combo packs, or if you prefer single releases, that sort of thing. Let me know. But for now, this is your old pal CHH, guys. Take care, and I'll see y'all next time. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.